Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to create create one project in the CODESYS from scratch. This would be useful for the beginners who haven't done it yet. So after you install the CODESYS, you will see the icon on your desktop. I have different versions of the CODESYS, but I'm going to create one project using this version of the CODESYS 3.57. If you double click on the icon, you will see after a while that the codices starts to appear in your desktop. So we need to wait for it to initialize, and then in the next step we need to determine the name, the type of the project that you want to create, the name of the project, the location for the project, the programming language that you want to use, whether ladder logic, function block diagram, SFC, and so on and so forth, and also the device that you are going to work with. If you are going to work with the hardware or PLC, then you have to determine it. If you are going to work only in the simulation, then it doesn't matter which device you select. And the list of available devices depends on on where you have got the software from initially, and then you may add the devices that are available for you into the list of the available devices in the CODESYS. Okay, so I think it will take a while for the CODESYS to initialize. Let's wait for it, and then okay, apparently it's here. So this will be what you see after the initialization of the software of the CODESYS. Here you will see the list of recent projects. If this is the first time, you will not have anything here, but I have already some of them. And from the list here, you can start to create a new project. You can try to open a project which is already in your system, and you can use the icons here in the toolbar as well. So I start by creating a new project. For now, let's select a standard project, and here we have to determine the name for that. I call it CODESYS project 41. This is the path in which I want to save my project. I keep it like that, and then pressing on OK. In the next step, we would need to determine the programming language and the type of the hardware that we want to use, as I mentioned earlier. So this is the main programming language for the project. You can select from this list, but I will select ladder logic diagram. And regarding the device, I don't care right now because I'm going to use it only in the simulation mode. But if you are using any device, you have to determine the device in the list here. So I keep it as the default and pressing on OK. We will have our empty standard project appearing here. So it's called CODESYS project 41, and then here we will have the project 3. In the project 3, we have the application. So the device is what I have selected. Then here in the application, we have library manager, PLC program, test configuration. I will talk about them later, but for now, the main thing that we need to do is to double click on the PLC program. And here you will see the program editing window. Since I have selected ladder logic as the programming language, the ladder logic programming elements are available for me here. I can select the elements that I want to insert into the project. And here in this part, this is the variable declaration area. So we have to declare the variables that we are going to use in our program. You can start by declaring the variables and then using them in the program, or you can start writing the program and whenever needed, you will declare the program. I will do the second one. Here I'm going to create a very simple project. Let's insert one contact, and for the contact, I will call it start. By typing start and pressing enter, I will see this auto declare window in which I have to declare the variable that I'm going to use. This is the scope. So for the main program, we have it as the only where and then where. Later on, you will see that you can declare the variable in different scopes. It's the scope in which you can use the variable. The name of the variable, the type of the variable, which is Boolean for the contact, but later you can have different kind of variables. Then it's within this object PSC underline PRG, we can initialize it. It's by default false, but we can initialize it to true. And maybe I need to write it here as well. True, and the address we don't care now because we will work in the simulation only, and you can provide some comments. This is the signal controlling the motor. And then you can press some OK. This will be our contact, and I will insert a coil as well. I call the coil motor, declare it as the Boolean, I don't initialize it, and no comments. And since I'm in simulation mode, I need to determine it from here. In the online menu, I select the simulation. If you save the project, in order to run it, we need to either to compile it to see whether there is any compilation error or not by pressing F11 or clicking on the build. If I do it, you can see here that the compile is complete, 0 errors, 0 warnings. And in order to run the code, simulate the code, we need to log in. By pressing on login, let's click on yes, you will see the details later. Now we are in the run mode, and I can start to run the code. So the value for the start is true, the motor is turned on, or the value for the motor variable is true as well. Here I can change the value, I can force the value actually, by clicking on the prepared value. Each time that you click, you will see the available values that you can use for the Boolean variable. So we can set it as false, true, or don't change it. So if I want to change the value for the start to false, when the false appears here, I press I press on F7 and then Alt F7 to make it permanent. And here you see that the value for start now is false and the value for motor is false as well. Switching it back to true, the motor will turn on. You should also notice that whenever the value for a Boolean variable is true, it's highlighted with blue, or it's filled with blue, and whenever the value for it is false, there's no highlighting, and the logic continuity is lost here as well. So this is a very simple program with the ladder logic code. You can also switch the view to have it in the function block diagram mode. So this is how you can assign the values from one Boolean variable to another one. Or we can also view it in the form of the instruction list. Start is loaded and then the motor is set depending on the value coming from the start. One more thing here is that we can also add visualization to our application. You can do it from here. Okay, since I'm working with this version of the CODESYS, I need to write visual no exception handling in the properties of the application in order to avoid the bug, the visualization bug that we have. So again, since I'm going to use the visualization, I need to right click on the application, go to the properties, and in the build field, in the build tab, I need to write visual no exception handling. So as the first step in the visualization, since in the program we have only Let me switch back to the ladder logic. Yes, here we have one contact and one motor coil. So in the visualization, I will insert one switch in order to represent the contact and one pilot lamp in order to represent the motor. The switch and lamp can be found here. I will use one dip switch. And as the variable of the switch, I need to determine it here by clicking on this icon. You will see the input assistant window, and here in the application, in the PLC program, we have the variables that we have. I will select the start from here. Then going back to the toolbox, I can insert one lamp, pilot lamp, and for the variable, using the input assistant, I will assign the motor. Now we have this simple visualization as well. By logging in, we can run the code now, and now we will have the visualization as well. So changing the value of the switch from true to false, the pilot lamp will be turned off, and it will turn on when the value for the switch is true. Okay, so this is, I think, the first step that you can take in creating projects with the CODESYS. You can follow the other videos for more advanced topics, how to use different visualization items that we have here in the different tabs, and how to do the programming, how to use different kind of function blocks that we have, how to do PLC programming using different programming languages that are available for us as the standard programming languages. Alright, I hope this will help you to start working with the CODESYS. I hope you enjoy the video, and if you think that it would be useful for someone else to use, please don't hesitate to share the video. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.